So who's got the upper hand, do you think? Well, Donald Trump does, exactly. But again, don't tell that to anybody over at the Wall Street Journal or the founder of Fox News, Rupert Murdoch. I mean, Donald Trump had some choice words for him. But before we get to that, let me just tell you that the headline that just broke as we came to air, guess what? Canada's folded, okay? Mexico's folded. Colombia already folded. Canada's going to work with Donald Trump. They're going to put all this money into the border. That's what he's been asking for. And there's going to be more to come. But hear him.
We've disagreed before, and I'm sure they didn't have any idea what they were talking about, because already you see what's happening. Look at Colombia. Look at what happened with that. Everybody said that with Colombia it was going to be a disaster. In 1 hour, everything was settled. You know why? Tariffs. Without tariffs, they wouldn't have been the same way. They would not have treated me the way they treated me, which was extremely nicely. And I don't want to use countries, I don't want to use names, but tariffs are very powerful, both economically and in getting everything else you want. Tariffs for us, nobody can compete with us because we're the pot of gold. But if we don't keep winning and keep doing well, we won't be the pot of gold, and then tariffs won't be so good for us. But when you're the pot of gold, the tariffs are very good. They're very powerful, and they're going to make our country very rich again. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
No, he's totally right. So Trudeau just agreed to put $1.3 billion into the enforcement of the border because, you know what, we don't want the fentanyl coming, we don't want the illegals coming, we want better security there. And I look at this and I'm like, what? It took 24 hours? For goodness sakes, at best 48. He said, I'm going to put these into effect on the 1st of February. He did. And here we are on the 3rd of February. And guess what? They're punting, at least for a month. They're going to try and work this out. They agreed to a $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, enhanced coordination with American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. I mean, why couldn't anybody else do this? Really and truly. And, the markets were freaking out, as I said, the crypto markets over the weekend. And I said to a lot of people, look, it could be bad, but not that bad. Keep it in perspective, all right? They're not that important. As Donald Trump said, they really don't have anything that we want. And they have a lot of stuff that actually you could make here. So, they back and forth, 25%. Boy, was the Wall Street Journal, run by Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch. He was really mad. So they came out with the dumbest trade war. Fallout begins. And they went on and on and on. They even have a response today, you see, because the article came out and Donald Trump had a few things to say about it on Truth Social. In fact, he wrote, will there be some pain? Yes, maybe and maybe not. But we will make America great again, and it will be all worth it. Worth the price that must be paid. This was on Truth Social. So he went on to call them the tariff lobby. And you gotta ask yourself, really and truly, what is their agenda? They're just a bunch of globalists who think that you should just go to the lowest common denominator? I mean, can't you show a little teeth? If we have, as he likes to say, the pot of gold, we may not have it for long. Why don't you use whatever you have, your arsenal, which in this case is actually tariffs, to get what you need accomplished? So they wrote that, this was the dumbest trade war in history. And he's like, thank you very much, you tariff lobby. They said, Mr. Trump's tariffs are already roiling North American energy markets, which are highly integrated. The president implicitly recognized the risk by hitting Canada's energy exports to the U.S. with a lower 10% tariff that will still hurt Midwestern refiners that rely on Canadian oil, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? It's not happening, okay? It's not happening. And I would also just point out there are other places to get the oil, and I know some people don't like it, but guess what? Rick Grinnell just got 6 American hostages out of Venezuela. Venezuela just agreed at their expense to take back 300,000 illegal criminals that are Venezuela. I don't know if they're criminals, but, we can have that debate later, because if you're here illegally, that makes you kind of in that criminal status. But 300,000 Venezuelans he's going to take back to Venezuela. And guess what? They're sitting on that giant oil field. I've been to it. It's called Orinoco. It puts Saudi Arabia to shame. So you just put a straw in the ground, and boom, you got oil. So I would just say you have some cards in your deck to play if you're Donald Trump, and he absolutely knows it. Wall Street Journal doesn't get it. Rupert Murdoch apparently doesn't get it. And the left most definitely never got it.